If you persevere, if you work hard, and if you realize that what you might think is impossible is possible in today's world because of the internet, because of our society. We're living in a very unique time, and a lot of us take it for granted. We complain about small things where if you look back at history, I mean, there were a lot of people that had a lot of problems for many centuries. The Middle Ages, I mean, the Romans, war, dictators. We are in a free society where the poorest person can become the richest person and most powerful person if they work hard enough, if they want it bad enough. So just think about that for a second. You have to really just look at the world around you. I've been very fortunate to travel all over the world. I've been to over 90 countries now. I love traveling. That's one of my hobbies. And I've met a lot of people, and people in many different circumstances. I know I have a lot of students here. How many Trading Challenge students do I have here? Thank you guys. Yeah. Props to them. I have the Trading Challenge. Those are my most dedicated students because I just want to teach you everything that I know. People who teach the stock market, it's a very kind of sketchy world where it's like, if you make a lot of money in the stock market, why do you want to tell other people? Why don't you just make the money and shut up and, laugh your way to the bank? And because of this journey that I'll explain in a second, I realized that it's actually a lot more fulfilling to teach and to share your stories. If I make, I made $16,000 on a trade the other day, that's fine. That's nice. That pays for a lot of stuff. But to share that trade live and to show people, to see exactly how I predicted it, because I sent out a video to my subscribers saying, here's what I think this stock will do. And the very next day, it did exactly that and more. I actually could have made $40,000, but I took my profits. But to be able to get emails from thousands of people saying, holy, you were right. I'm not psychic. I'm not lucky. It's skill that I've refined over 15 years. And I had very humble beginnings. My parents are here. Give them a big round of applause, my mom and dad. I'm from a small town, Orange, Connecticut. I actually went to Tufts University here, just a few miles away, freshman year. I got there because of tennis. And I played tennis for 10 years, pretty much every single day growing up, because I was taught to believe that, if you had a good college education, you could get a good, secure job, you could be financially independent, you could be successful. These are my Jewish roots. Ever since I was a baby, like where you had the little things going above you, like I had like little $20 bills, and I was like, that's the Jewish way. And I believe that. Unfortunately, and I say this, kind of jokingly, I don't say anything that serious. But because I'm Jewish and I was playing sports, those two don't really mix. You don't see that many, LeBron is not Jewish. You don't have that many professional athletes. So my elbow actually gave out senior year of high school, and it was really traumatic for me because the only thing I had known at that time was playing tennis every single day, working hard, going to be the best tennis player so you can get the tennis scholarship, so you can get into the good college. I was already into Tufts University because of tennis, but then my elbow gave out and I had Tommy John surgery where they actually take something out of your other arm and put it in this arm. So I'm walking around like RoboCop with two casts, and I couldn't do anything. I'm already into college, early admission. So senior year of high school, my parents, in their wisdom, gave me roughly $12,000 of my bar mitzvah gift money to play around with in the stock market. And they thought I would lose it all. They thought it would be tough love, like, oh, you'll learn the value of a dollar. Instead, after year one, I turned it into roughly $120,000. And by the end of freshman year at college, I was up to $800,000. And for somebody like me who grew up middle class, $800,000 is a lot of money, especially in a year, basically, a year and a half. It was crazy. And I didn't know if I was lucky. I didn't know if I was skilled. I think I was definitely lucky, partially skilled, but I was in the right place at the right time. This was back in 99 and 2000 during the tech bubble. And I profited. I saw a pattern in the stock market, specifically penny stocks. I didn't want to be a penny stock trader. I didn't know even what penny stocks were. I just saw a pattern and I went with it. Basically buying penny stocks that were hyped up because I figured if internet companies like Netscape and Yahoo at the time were the two most valuable internet companies were valued so highly and they don't really have that many revenues, then why can't you value a small speculative penny stock highly too. A company like NetTaxi. Who remembers NetTaxi? Yeah, there we go. We got one guy. This was an old school internet company, and the penny stock soared because they put out some press releases saying, look, we could be like the next Netscape. And because Netscape didn't have that much business at the time, only hype and promises, NetTaxi, very similar name, sure, why not? And the stock surged. And that's how I turned basically 12,000 into 800,000. Then the stock market crashed. And most people who had similar kinds of gains like I did, they lost all their money. I didn't. So what made me different from everybody else who was buying penny stocks or internet companies during the tech bubble? Discipline. Because while I was trading in the freshman dorm room, and I actually, Fire and Ice. Have you guys been to Fire and Ice? Yeah. I took the whole dorm out to dinner one time at Fire and Ice when I made $100,000 in a day. But when I did that, I always took profits because I always looked at everything as a gift. Whether I made 100,000 or 16,000, and to this day, I still look at everything as a gift. I try not to get too greedy. Yes, I have a Lamborghini. Yes, I have the Porsche and the mansion, and I love traveling. But I always try and live within my means and stay disciplined. The Wolf of Wall Street, obviously he's a scam artist. He's not a good marketer. He runs Ponzi schemes. He's a career criminal. In case any of you guys want to learn marketing, he's not a marketer. If you want to learn how to be a criminal, I think he's your man. But if you want to learn to live within your means, even if you are making a lot of money, whether it's on apps or cars or stocks or anything, always kind of try and remember that there are a lot of people in history who have made a lot of money and a lot of people who have lost it by living beyond their means, by getting too greedy, by not appreciating every single dollar. So to this day, I have several millions of dollars in the bank, but I appreciate every single dollar. And I know it doesn't look like that on my social media, I'm like bragging and stuff like that, but that's just to inspire people. Because this is what I've also learned. While I appreciate the money, I appreciate the students even more. Making $100,000 in a day, taking the dorm out to Fire and Ice, that's fantastic. But my life achievement has been creating 2 millionaire students now. Michael Good and Tim Grattani, they both passed $1 million in profits with my teachings. When I crossed $1 million, I was 22. Best moment of my life. I was like, oh my God, I'm a millionaire. This is crazy. But to be able to pass down your expertise to others, that takes it to a whole nother level. For many years, many people thought, I post YouTube videos, many people thought that I was just full of, they're like, oh yeah, another guy who claims he can make me a millionaire on the internet. And then, not one, but two of my students have done that, showing every single trade. Tim Grattani is actually up to $1.7 million in profits now in 3 years. He started with $1,500. So that has become the most fulfilling thing. And so while I keep making money, I'm up roughly 107% in 4 months in 2014 trading. I love it. But teaching, creating more millionaires, doing the impossible, challenging, accepted financial wisdom, where people think, oh, penny stocks, those are scams, it's sketchy, it's risky. I've heard every bad word in the book that you can think of with penny stocks. And yet for me, it's changed my life. For my top students, they've changed their lives using penny stocks. So there's a contradiction. The whole world hates on penny stocks, and yet some of us see these patterns that repeat again and again. And yes, we do see some scams too, but you see these patterns and you can see how to grow your account.